Hey guys, Jennifer here. Now, you may have noticed on my channel that I have been straying away from Enlisted recently. In fact, my last 9, maybe 10 videos have been about Dark Souls and Minecraft. It hasn't been that I don't enjoy Enlisted anymore. In fact, I love the game and still will play it. It's just that I haven't really been getting many video ideas out recently. There is one video idea I have out, which I'm trying to work on, but it's taken a bit of a while to get content for. But I got a new spark of ideas, which was this video. And as you can see by the title of the video, it's ranking every trooper class from worst to best. So in order to do this video, I had to gather a lot of information about each of the classes, how well they do in their roles, what their roles are, and how well these roles are determined on the battlefield. For example, an assaulter is really good in close range situations, but so is a flamethrower. I've had to compare these and we'll see which classes perform better than another class of the same nature. I've also taken into account other roles the classes can fulfill. For example, a gunner can go in long range combat or close range combat, as well as support a team for a push or defend a point, which is their intended role. As well as this, I will not be including any squad bonuses, so that means no frequent artillery, no engineer buildings post the basic buildings. So that means no machine gun nests, no AT guns, and no AA guns. I will also not be including vehicle squads since they're really determined on the vehicles, which is actually quite unfair. Now, I do know that some classes are also judged because of their equipment, but vehicle crews are basically just worse assaulters outside of their vehicle, and pilots, if you can actually land the plane, are just, again, worse assaulters. With that being said, let's start with the worst class. Coming in at number 9 as the worst class in Enlisted is the Radio Operator. The Radio Operator has, by default, -2 weapon handling and +5 speed over their counterparts. The problem with the Radio Operator is they're just another rifleman, only with a big fancy backpack that can call in a radio strike every 4 minutes. Now, obviously, radio strikes have been massively nerfed, thankfully, since they were downright overpowered during the early game in beta before they received the galaxy-sized nerf that they deserved. Radio operators are still quite annoying, but the reason why they're the worst is, well, their galaxy-sized hammer has since been nerfed, and now, thankfully, we won't be seeing the red rain that is always covering spawn points like it was during the Reign of Terror after the HE patch. Now, the problem is, again, they're just riflemen nowadays. You call in the radio barrage, they're just another rifleman, and they're a pretty poor one at that. They lose weapon handling, but gain speed. Cool, I guess. You don't really get the same benefits of using just a regular trooper over the radio op. And worst thing is, like, most of it, they're a specialist class as always, but you're always going to have like a bomber or a assaulter or an engineer, which are all better options than the radio op. As a result, it's found its way at the bottom of this list. Now, let us move on to number 8. Coming in at number 8 is the Mortar, another class which only has one version of. The Mortar has +2 vitality, +2 weapon handling, but -1 speed. The reason why the Mortar gets the nod over the Radio Operator is that Mortars are more support, and it's probably a better support weapon, and a lot more skill based. It's still stupidly bullshit to be killed by a Mortar, but at least it's not press 7 and press on the map. Now, again, mortars have received nerfs such as the fact that they use up more ammo from ammo boxes, and you need an engineer parked next to you in order to use these to their full potential. But other than that, they're just meh, really. Once you're out of mortars and once you're out of engineers to exploit, you're just another rifleman, like the Radio Operator, ironically. Same reasons for the Radio Operator. Once you get rid of all of their bonuses, they're just another rifleman. Unlike other classes which also act like riflemen, they have some redeeming qualities about them which make them better. Anyways, with those out of the way, let's move on to number 7. Now, coming in at number 7 is the Sniper. Now, the Sniper has 3 variants, the Sniper 1, the Sniper 2, and the Sniper 3. The Sniper 1 gives -2 vitality, +3 weapon handling, and +2 speed. Sniper 2 increases the weapon handling by an extra 1 to make +4 weapon handling, with Sniper 3 increasing that by 2 to give it +6 weapon handling, while both keep the -2 vitality and the +2 speed. The problem with Sniper is that it's just long-ranged troopers. There's not really a special bonus to using a sniper over a trooper. Most things snipers can do, other classes can do just as well, like gunner and trooper, ironically, and really they just don't do well. A major problem with snipers is that they're primarily using bolt actions for most of the game, while the meta is to use semi-automatics. And also, fuck the devs for putting the M1 Garand way behind the Gewehr 43. Like, why is this a thing? I know they have 3 snipers, but come on. Other than that, again, it's just a trooper, just with longer range. Anyways, with snipers out of the way, let's move on to number 6. Coming in at number 6 is the bog standard trooper. Now, the trooper has 2 different variants. Trooper 1s give +1 to all stats, with Trooper 2s giving +2. Quite easy to memorise, actually. The reason why the troopers are actually above sniper, radio operator and mortar is because of 2 main reasons. One, they're backbone troops and you don't actually need any kind of upgrade to get these. And 2, they've actually got something which puts them above them, and that is the grenade launcher. People really do overlook the grenade launcher and the fact that troopers are the only classes that can actually use them. Yes, I do know that the weapons attached to the grenade launchers are awful, and once you use the grenades, you can just basically throw the troop away. But once you use these, you can actually get multiple multi-kills with these things. These are literally noob tubes for Modern Warfare 2, and if you replayed that game, you remember how cancerous those were. It just missed the top 5 by the slimmest of margins. I do think it could get top 5, and you could make an argument for it getting top 5. However, I think the other 5 classes were just slightly better and more usable. Other than that, it's a pretty good class and pretty good for a backbone class. Anyway, let's go on to number 5. Coming in at number 5 is the Bomber. The Bomber has 1 variant, which gives +2 vitality, +3 weapon handling, but -2 speed. The Bomber is the anti-tank specialist, and if we're being honest, it's not really a good one. Yeah, Piats can one-shot Panzer IVs and Pumas with relative ease, but so do explosive packs. The problem is, explosive packs are so powerful that bombers, which aren't really as needed as much as they are expected to be. Now, I will say that because the Piat is so powerful, and I think the Stern Pistol as well is okay, I've one-shot Chaffies with that thing, but because the Piat is so powerful, it really did motivate the Bomber above the others, and it does play the role of anti-tank support incredibly well. The only problem is that compared to the other 4, which all do their jobs incredibly well, the Bomber came up short. And with that, let's move on to number 4. Coming in at number 4 is the Flamethrower. This has 2 variants. Variant 1 having +5 vitality, -1 weapon handling and +2 speed, with the Flamethrower 2 variant having +7 vitality and +2 speed, losing the -1 weapon handling. This is the only class in the game that actively loses a negative debuff that it has. Now, you might be looking at this and thinking, Flamethrowers? Flamethrowers are awful. Why are they in the top 4? Why are they better than bombers? Why are they better than radio operators? Why are they better than troopers? Yes, I know, flamethrowers are not that good. However, they are probably the most fun class in the game. This class can actively be a lot of fun, especially at Flamethrower 2 with the M2 Flamethrower. Using the M1, I can admit, it's bad. The M1 is bad. I'm actually planning a video on bad weapons of Enlisted on it. But the M2 is a monster. It will destroy anything in its way. It is amazing, especially on maps with bunkers, especially on maps with close quarter buildings. It is probably the best close quarter weapon because you just need to hit the enemy and they're done. They're stun locked. It's generally a very powerful weapon. Now, I do understand why people hate this weapon, but come on, it is incredible, especially at close range. It's probably the best close range specialist in the game. But with that, let's move on to number 3. Coming in at number 3 is the Assaulter. Now the Assaulter has 2 variants, with the Assaulter 1 giving +1 weapon handling and +2 speed, with the Assaulter 2 instead having +1 vitality, +2 weapon handling and +3 speed. So a really good progression from 1 to 2. There's not really much that you can say about Assaulters. They're very good in close range. They have pretty good weapons, especially when you unlock the Thompson and the Lancaster. And really, they're just... I would say they are just as good as flamethrowers at close range, but the reason why I put them over flamethrowers, you don't have the risk of setting yourself on fire. Very good for clearing buildings, trenches, bunkers, stopping a push, holding a point. They are generally just great. The problem is they're not good at long range, and again, they're pretty bare bones compared to the next 2. Anyways, with that, let's move on to number 2. Coming in at number 2 is the Engineer. Engineers have 2 variants, with Engineer 1 giving +2 vitality and +1 speed, and Engineer 2 giving +4 vitality and +2 speed. The main reason Engineers are at number 2 is their buildings. They are incredibly powerful, and a well-placed spawn or ammo crate will really change the tide of a battle. Without question, you should have an engineer in every squad. They are essential in pretty much every squad. The only knock on them is once you've finished building, they're just a bog standard trooper again. After you've fortified your point into Fort Knox, they're just another trooper. And that being said, let's move on to number 1. And if you can do trial by elimination, you can already tell which one is number 1. Coming in at number 1 is, of course, the Gunner. Gunners have 2 variants. Gunner 1s give +3 weapon handling, and Gunner 2s give +6 weapon handling. So really, they don't give much perks. Why are they so good? They're machine gunners. Come on. What solves more problems? A rifle or a machine gun? The LMGs in Enlisted are probably the best class of weapon in the game. The Bren, the MG 42, 34, any BAR. Pick an LMG in this game and they are top. Gunners can hold a building, they can breach a building, they can take a point, hold it down, and keep it held for a long period of time. I always try to run at least one gunner in every squad that I go with because they are that powerful. They're also incredible for holding buildings as well. Let's just face it, they're one-shot kill at most ranges, and even if you miss, you're going to hit them with the next bullet or 2. They are insanely powerful at long range, and let's just face it, they're just powerful in all situations. There's never been a situation in Enlisted when I was playing as a gunner and I've gone to myself and thought, man, I wish I was another class to deal with this certain situation. Every class you can all in a certain situation has a weakness, but gunners do not. I would generally say that they are probably the most powerful class in the game. I had to put these as the clear number 1, and that's going to be my video on all the classes in Enlisted ranked from worst to best. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking, commenting and subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one.